Did you know your body may already be whispering to you about how long you'll live? It might sound strange, but it's true. After 70, every step you take, every night of sleep, every time you reach out and grab something, your body is quietly sending messages. Messages about your health, your longevity, and your future. Researchers from Harvard and the National Institute on Aging have identified 7 surprisingly simple signs that, if you know what to look for, could give you a clearer picture of how long you might live, and more importantly, how well you'll live. Will you stay strong, stay independent, stay joyful? In this video, we'll walk through these signs together. You'll see where you stand today and what small things you can start doing to help yourself live longer, feel better, and enjoy your later years more fully than ever before. If this resonates with you, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can stay connected and keep learning from each other in the videos to come. Turning 70 isn't a stopping point, it's a crossroads, a place where you get to choose. Will you keep living with intention, clarity, and meaning? Or will you let things slowly wind down out of habit? But here's something you might not know. The way you listen to your body and how you respond to even the smallest signals make a huge difference in your health and longevity. What you're about to hear in this video isn't theory or guesswork. It's based on decades of real-life research and practical findings from top experts in aging and senior health around the world. And the best part? It's never too late. Whether you're 70, 75, or even 85, there are still things you can do, starting today, to improve your quality of life. Small shifts now can lead to more joyful, independent, and healthier years ahead. So, now let's begin with the very first sign. Something you do every single day without even realizing that it just might be quietly revealing your life expectancy. Sign 1. Walking speed. When your steps whisper your longevity, have you ever noticed you're starting to slow down? Not just tired after a long day, but a deeper kind of slowing down that crept in without warning. Maybe stairs feel a bit harder than they used to, or you find yourself pausing halfway through the grocery store. Even just getting up from a chair feels a little less steady than before. I don't bring this up to worry you, but because even the smallest changes in how we move can carry a much bigger meaning than we realize. And the best part? You're not alone. Studies from Harvard and the National Institute on Aging have shown that walking speed after age 70 is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. It reflects your independence, heart health, muscle strength, even how long you're likely to live. Let me tell you a little story. Mr. Raymond is 75. He lives just a few streets away. Every morning, he slips on his old sneakers, zips up a light jacket, and heads out for a walk around the neighborhood park. His pace isn't fast, but it's steady. His back is straight, his breath is calm, and his eyes look ahead with quiet confidence. He still shops for his own groceries, still tends to a small garden behind his house, and he often tells me, with a smile, walking is how I remind myself that I'm still very much alive. Now, not far from Raymond lives his old friend, Daniel. They used to walk together every week, but things are different now. Daniel goes out less. He takes the elevator instead of the stairs, and when he does walk, he often has to stop and catch his breath. He says his legs don't feel the same, but deep down, what he really fears is falling and no one being there to help. Same age, same street, but their health is heading in 2 very different directions. Not because one is better than the other, but simply because one of them has held on to something small. That makes a big difference. The way you walk something we so often take for granted is actually one of the clearest signs of how your body is doing. It reflects your muscle strength, balance, cardiovascular health, coordination, and even your confidence. When everything inside you is working in harmony, you'll feel it in every step. But if you've noticed yourself slowing down, does that mean it's too late? Not at all. The moment you begin to notice your body is the moment you can begin to change how you care for it. You don't need to run. You don't need a fancy gym. Just start by walking 5 minutes a day around your home. Stand up and sit down a few times from your favorite chair. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chin. Try standing on one leg while you brush your teeth. Simple things done regularly can quietly rebuild your strength from the ground up. Because caring for your health doesn't have to be overwhelming. It just starts with something as humble as your own 2 feet. Every step you take today is a step toward the freedom you want tomorrow. And if you remember just one thing from me, let it be this: the way you walk is how your body says it's still living. So, yes, something as ordinary as walking can reveal extraordinary things about your health and where your future may be headed. But walking isn't the only way your body speaks to you. Sometimes the signs show up in the smallest places, like right in the palm of your hand. Have you noticed your grip feeling a little weaker? Or maybe opening a water bottle isn't as easy as it used to be. It might seem like nothing, but science tells us it's one of the most important early signs linked to longevity. If you're ready, let's move on to sign 2, where a simple handshake may tell you more than you ever expected. Sign 2: grip strength. When real strength starts in the palm of your hand, let me ask you a quick question. Have you found it harder lately to open a jar? Does a coffee mug feel a little less steady in your hand? Or when you shake someone's hand, do you notice your grip isn't as firm as it used to be? It might seem small, but this isn't just getting older. In fact, it could be one of the first signs that your body is quietly losing strength from the inside out. At Mayo Clinic, one of the leading medical research centers in the US, doctors have spent years studying health in older adults. And what they have discovered is that grip strength, something as simple as how well you can hold on to an object, can actually predict a lot about your health. Muscle strength, heart function, risk of falling, even how long you're likely to live. We often think of our hands as just tools to carry things. But in reality, for your hand to work well, nearly your entire body has to work in harmony. Your muscles, nerves, blood flow, even your brain's coordination. So, when your grip weakens, it's often a sign that something deeper may need your attention. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 77 and lives in a quiet rural town in Nebraska. She still cooks her own meals, folds laundry, and spends hours lost in thick novels. At her last checkup, her doctor tested her grip strength using a small device and was surprised to see results comparable to a healthy 60-year-old. She just smiled and said, "I still wash dishes every night, carry heavy pots, haul my groceries. My hands don't get a break, so they're still strong." But not everyone is like Linda. Mark, who's the same age, has noticed things slipping literally. He's started dropping items more often, avoids lifting heavy things, struggles with tight jar lids. He once joked, "I guess this is just what getting old feels like." But what he didn't realize is that his loss of strength was slowly leading to loss of independence. And even more difficult than needing help was feeling like he could no longer trust his own body. But here's the good news. A weaker grip doesn't mean the end. You can rebuild your hand strength, slowly, gently, consistently. You don't need fancy equipment, a tennis ball, a small water bottle, even a grocery bag. Squeeze, lift, release. Do it while watching TV, or while waiting for the kettle to boil. Everyday chores like cooking, folding clothes, carrying a shopping bag might feel tiring, but they're actually keeping your hands alive and capable. And every time you open that stubborn jar, it's not just about muscle, it's about independence, confidence, and quiet strength that says, I'm still in control of my life. So, tomorrow, when you shake someone's hand, pause for a second. Not just to feel their grip, but to notice your own. Because sometimes, the way you hold on to things is exactly how you're holding on to life. And speaking of holding steady, do you remember the last time you stood on one foot? In Sign 3, we'll explore something that seems natural until it starts to slip away. Your sense of balance, and why losing it can lead to more than just a stumble. It can change everything. Sign 3, balance, the silent strength that holds you up. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without holding on to anything? Sounds easy, right? Just one foot. What's the big deal? But give it a try. You might be surprised, just like many older adults are, when they realize that something they once did without a second thought has now become surprisingly difficult. Let me tell you about Susan, 74, who lives with her family in the suburbs of Atlanta. She used to teach dance, so balance was second nature to her. But one day, as she got up from the sofa, she stumbled a bit just from turning too quickly. That's when she started to realize something had changed. She was losing her sense of balance. Later, during a doctor's visit, she was asked to try a simple test. Stand on one foot for 10 seconds. And to her surprise, she couldn't do it. It wasn't her fault. It was simply her body sending her a gentle warning that her coordination, her muscles, her nervous system were starting to slow down. According to research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, people over 70 who cannot balance on one foot for 10 seconds have an 84% higher risk of dying within the next 10 years. That may sound scary, but really, it's just your body's way of telling you something important. If you can keep your balance, you have a better chance of living longer. The truth is, balance is something we barely think about until we lose it. It not only helps us walk steadily, but it's also the key to preventing falls, which remain the leading cause of serious injury, loss of independence, and even death among older adults. Take Mr. Dennis, 78. He learned this lesson the hard way, after slipping in the bathroom and fracturing his hip. He spent almost 2 months in the hospital and nearly a year learning to walk again. I just wish I had worked on my balance a little earlier, he told me quietly. Then maybe I wouldn't have had to go through the pain of losing my freedom, even just to use the bathroom. But here's the hopeful part. Just like the first 2 signs, balance can absolutely be trained, even in your 70s, your 80s, or beyond. You don't need fancy equipment. Just stand near a sturdy chair or wall, lift one foot gently, and try holding it for a few seconds each day. Or walk heel to toe along an imaginary straight line. Even walking barefoot around the house can help your feet reconnect with the ground, helping your legs relearn how to stabilize you. If you prefer gentler movement, Tai Chi or senior-friendly yoga are fantastic ways to restore balance, flexibility, and calmness. Because staying upright doesn't just prevent you from falling, it helps you stay steady in life. When you can stand tall, you can walk forward. And when you can walk forward, you keep your independence. So, if today you can hold your balance for 10 seconds, smile. If you can't just yet, don't worry. Start with 3 seconds, then 5, then 10, then maybe even longer. As long as you still want to move forward, your body will still find its way to balance. Are you ready to move on to sign 4? This time, we'll explore something quiet, something we often overlook, but that may be the most powerful form of healing your body has. Sign 4. Sleep. The quiet gift your body gives you each night. How well have you been sleeping lately? And I don't just mean how many hours. I mean the kind of sleep where you don't wake up at 2 a.m. The kind where you don't lie there, staring at the ceiling, hoping rest will come back. I ask not out of curiosity, but because I know. For many people after 70, sleep doesn't come as easily as it used to. I remember sitting next to Joseph, 76, during a gathering at church. He paused, then said quietly, "When I was young, I'd lie down and be out in minutes. But now, I can lie there for an hour, listening to the clock tick, eyes wide open." He wasn't complaining, he was just sharing what many feel but few talk about, the sadness of not being able to fall asleep like you once did. "Some nights," he said, "I wake up at 2 a.m. and just sit there. I look out the window at the dark sky, hear the wind, and feel like everything is quiet except the emptiness inside me. You know, sleep is when your body quietly heals itself. Your heart slows down. Your brain gets cleaned out. Hormones rebalance. Your immune system recharges. So, when you don't sleep deeply when your sleep is broken or shallow, you're more likely to feel foggy, irritable, forgetful, and disconnected from the things that used to bring you joy. According to sleep doctors at the Mayo Clinic, seniors who maintain stable, restful sleep often live longer, stay healthier, and enjoy better mental clarity. You don't need to sleep for 10 hours. What matters most is the quality. Even 6 to 7 hours of uninterrupted, peaceful sleep, where you wake up feeling refreshed, is enough to restore your body for the day ahead. If you've been struggling with sleep lately, you're not alone. And the good news is, you don't have to overhaul your life. Sometimes, just a few small changes can help you reclaim your rest. Try going to bed a bit earlier. Turn off the TV or phone an hour before sleep. Read a calming book. Listen to soft music. Sit quietly and breathe slowly. Skip the caffeine after lunch. Get a little sunlight in the morning. It helps your body know when it's time to rest later. Make your bedroom cool, quiet, and simple. A peaceful space invites peaceful sleep. And if you're doing all this and still can't sleep, please know, it's not your fault. Sometimes your body just needs help. Talk to your doctor. Many sleep issues are treatable once identified, because sleep isn't just rest until morning. It's your body's quiet time to reset, repair, and renew. And after a lifetime of showing up for others, you deserve a night of sleep that shows up for you. Have you ever woken up from a truly restful night and thought, "Wow, everything just feels easier today"? If you have, then you understand why I say, sleep is a silent gift, and if you take care of it, it will take care of you. Now, if you're still here with me, thank you. Let's continue on to sign 5, where the way you eat says more than just how hungry you are. It may reveal how alive you still feel inside. Sign 5, appetite. When a meal becomes more than just filling your stomach, do you still look forward to mealtime like you used to? I ask not out of curiosity, but because I understand. For many people past 70, food stops feeling like a pleasure. There are days when you sit at the table and you're just not hungry. The meals you once loved now feel bland. You eat just to get through the day, not because it tastes good anymore. I remember Teresa, a sweet woman I met recently. She's 74. She told me she often skips breakfast. "I wake up and just don't want anything, sweetheart," she said. "I feel tired. Eating doesn't really help. Sometimes I just have a little tea and call it good." And then, the changes began. Her clothes started to feel looser. Her energy dipped. But what was more concerning than the weight loss was that her strength started to fade too. Not because she was old, but because her body had stopped receiving the fuel it needed to live fully each day. Appetite may seem like a small thing, but it's actually a window into your health. When you're enjoying food, it usually means your digestion is working, your hormones are balanced, and your mind is alert. But when you lose your appetite, it could be a sign that something deeper is going on, a nutrient deficiency, stress, or even emotional weight like grief or quiet sadness. Take Leonard, 78. He used to love cooking, hosting family every weekend with his signature dishes. But after his wife passed, things changed. He stopped cooking. His meals became irregular. Not because he was depressed, he said, but because he no longer found food enjoyable. And over time, his body began to weaken. Not because of one illness, but because he stopped nourishing himself. He stopped feeding his body and slowly started pulling away from life itself. So if you've noticed yourself eating less, feeling full quicker, or losing interest in food, don't just brush it off as old age. See it for what it really is. A gentle reminder from your body that it needs your care and attention, again patiently, and with kindness. You don't need to force yourself to eat more. Just try a few small things. Add a little color to your plate. Eat with someone when you can. Cook a dish that brings back happy memories. Try plating your food a little differently. Make the meal feel cozy and inviting again. And if the loss of appetite lasts more than a few days, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. You might be low on a certain vitamin or nutrient, or your body may need a simple adjustment to bring back your sense of taste and hunger. Do you remember the joy of cooking a meal that others complimented? Or the warm feeling of being offered a bowl of soup on a chilly day? Those little moments, though, quiet, are proof that life still stirs inside you. They remind you that you are still here, still connected, still worth feeding body and soul. So, if today you still find food delicious, still feel hunger, still want to enjoy a good meal, cherish that. It's a beautiful sign that your body and spirit are still thriving. And if not, that's okay too, because the joy of eating can come back through small, gentle steps. Have you ever thought, the way you eat might reflect the way you live? If that thought touches something inside you, then let's continue together to Sign 6, where we explore something invisible, but incredibly powerful: how you handle pressure, stress, and emotion. Just say, continue, and I'll be here, ready to walk with you through the next step. Sign 6. How you handle stress. The quiet force that may determine how long you live. Do you worry sometimes? I'm not talking about big things. I mean the kind of quiet, nagging worries that don't go away. Did I remember my medication? Will I have enough energy to get groceries tomorrow? Are my kids doing okay? Will my savings last if something unexpected happens? The kind of worry you don't say out loud, but that still makes you take a deep sigh when no one's around. I think of David, 79. He's been living alone since his wife passed. One evening he told me, "You know, during the day I feel fine, but when I lay down at night, my mind just starts running like a car with no brakes. I think about everything, things that happened, things that might happen, even things that probably won't ever happen. I still think about them." Then he smiled softly and added something that stayed with me. "I don't always feel tired, but I don't feel strong anymore either." And I understood. Not every dip in energy is caused by illness. Sometimes it's our minds that are too tired to rest. People often assume stress is only a young person's problem. But in truth, older adults often carry the heaviest emotional loads. The more you've lived, the more you've seen. The more you understand, the more you worry. And if that weight builds up quietly, day after day, eventually the body starts to speak. Not with loud alarms, but with subtle signals. You feel tired for no reason. You get headaches, food loses flavor, sleep becomes broken. Your heart races, you feel moody or low. And little by little, stress becomes illness. According to experts at the National Institute of Mental Health, long-term stress weakens the immune system and increases the risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, sleep problems, and yes, even shortens your life. It may sound heavy, but here's the good news. You don't need to be strong to overcome stress. You just need to learn to be gentle with yourself. Some people find peace in reading a few quiet pages of a book. Some feel lighter after calling an old friend, not to say anything important, just to hear a familiar voice. Some take a slow walk in the garden each morning, letting the breeze carry away what the heart no longer needs to hold. Others simply sit in silence, holding a warm cup of tea, listening to soft music, and little by little, they feel their spirits settle like still water. You don't need to fix everything. Just give yourself permission to stop holding so tightly, to feel what you feel, to say, "I'm tired," to pause. Because sometimes, peace doesn't come from solving every problem, but from simply breathing deeply through the ones we can't control. If you can still smile, even when your heart feels quiet. If you still know how to sit with yourself when your mind feels tangled, then you've already taken a powerful step. Because those who live the longest aren't always the strongest. They are the ones who learn to live lightly, with kindness and care for themselves. Are you holding a quiet worry in your heart right now? If so, I hope that right this moment you'll take one slower, deeper breath. Just one breath. It might be all your heart needs to feel a little lighter. And if you're still with me, I'd love to invite you into our final chapter. Sign 7. Connection. Where we'll explore something beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful. The people we hold close, the relationships we choose to nurture, the small conversations that give life its warmth. Sign 7. Relationships. The older you get, the more precious they become. When was the last time you called someone just to say a few simple things? Maybe an old friend, a neighbor, or someone you used to be close to. I ask this gently because I know. There comes a time when many people just stop wanting to share, not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't want to bother anyone, or they feel forgotten, or they simply feel like life has moved on without them. I remember Diane, 82, telling me one afternoon, "There are days when I don't hear a real human voice. Just the radio and my cat. I don't talk to anyone." She smiled when she said it, but her eyes carried something soft and quiet, something that stayed with me. Not everyone needs a crowd, but no one should live feeling like no one is listening. We often talk about diet, exercise, sleep, and medications as pillars of health. But one of the longest running and most respected studies from Harvard University has shown that the single strongest predictor of health and longevity is the quality of your relationships. Not money, not fame, but whether or not you have someone to call when you feel tired, someone to sit beside you when your heart feels empty, someone to ask, "Hey, how was your day?" You don't need to be outgoing or social to feel connection. But if the days are passing and you no longer talk to anyone, no longer feel excited to see anyone, no longer want to share your thoughts with anyone, then that's not just loneliness. That's a kind of silence that begins to echo through the heart and slowly weakens the body too. Because here's the truth. When we speak, when we laugh, when we listen, our bodies release hormones that reduce stress, protect the heart, and sharpen the mind. Connecting with others doesn't just make you happier, it may help you live longer. And the best part? It's never too late to reconnect. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while just to say, "I was thinking of you." Smile at the vendor you see every morning. Ask the person next to you at church or in the park how they're doing. Even a short moment, a kind word, A warm glance can be the thread that stitches back together a part of your life that's been too quiet for too long. I know sometimes we tell ourselves, I'm used to the quiet, or no one checks in on me anymore, or it's fine, I'm okay. But that kind of okay isn't really peace. It's a slow kind of emptiness that grows when we stop reaching out. And if you open your heart, even just a little, you might be surprised how many people are still willing to meet you there. Because in the end, it's not the house, the savings, or the awards we remember, it's the moments we shared with someone who walked with us for a while. The person who once made us laugh. The one who sat quietly beside us when we didn't know what to say. So if you still have someone to text, call, or share a little story with, do it. And if you don't right now, then start fresh today. A new connection can begin with something as simple as a hello, because what keeps us healthy isn't only written in a test result. It's found in the feeling that we still matter to someone, that someone still hears us, and that we still have people to care about, and people who care about us. Thank you for walking with me through all 7 signs. Each one is like a small doorway, not to fear, but to awareness, a chance to start again, gently from the things that matter most. If you're still here, still listening to these words, then I truly believe you're someone who values your health, someone who cherishes life, and someone who wants to live the rest of your years with intention, with kindness, and with care. We may not get to choose how many years we have left, but we can choose how we live each year, each day, each precious moment we're given. The 7 signs you've just explored are not meant to alarm you. They're gentle doorways, invitations to a new kind of conversation between you and your body, you and your mind, you and your spirit. And the most beautiful part is, it's never too late to begin again. Whether you're 70, 75, 85, or even older, as long as you can breathe, as long as you're willing to listen to yourself, and as long as you still want to live fully, then there is still time to be strong, to be joyful, and to live with meaning. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, please don't hesitate to click, like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need a soft reminder today. And if you'd like to leave something behind, a sign that you're here, that you're still walking this path, just type the words "I'm ready" in the comments below. That's how I'll know you're still here, still continuing this journey toward health, on your own terms, in your own time. Thank you for listening, for caring about your body, and for choosing every day to live a life that matters. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep walking this path together.